Today we're talking about 10 crops you can grow in the greenhouse over winter for the zombie apocalypse that's coming up. All right, so what do I mean by the zombie apocalypse? Well, I think you know what I mean by the zombie apocalypse. So the apocalypse is pretty much, it's a laugh, it's a joke. The New World Order is a joke. This whole scam, this whole thing is a joke. Let's have some fun with it. And let's eat some good food over winter. So this is my unheated high tunnel. Basic standard single layer tunnel. I've got 3 greenhouses. This is my most simple and stripped down one. And no automation, but roll up sides on both sides. We got vents up top. We got irrigation, and we got a big door. And it's a simple greenhouse, and all of the crops in here are cold tolerant, and that's the key here. You know, when the apocalypse happen, you don't want to just be basically just getting by with your, you know, your shitty emergency supply food. You know, it's great to have that stuff. We all need it, but when the apocalypse happen, I want to be having a good time. I want to be having nice meat. I want to be having eggs from the garden, chicken. I want to be eating fresh vegetables in the greenhouse all winter long. I want to be thriving, okay? I want to be thriving, and I want to be thriving at any time. It's just, you know, if it's the apocalypse, you really want to thrive because you're going to need to be able to crush it, right? So you're going to be able to stay ahead of the pack, stay ahead of the curve. And a good diet and good eating habits are a good part of that. So with enough of that, let's talk about the crops. So crop number 1, broccoli. Broccoli is, I wouldn't say it's an easy crop to grow. I would say it's an intermediate crop to grow. But if you can do it right, you can get a lot of vegetable mass off broccoli. Dark green, good for cooking, good raw. We cook it. We cook it for them. I used to be a raw foodist. I don't do a lot raw anymore except carrots and greens for salads and things like that. But so we do cook it. And this is a broccolette kind of. I think this one's called Atlantis. There's all kinds of good varieties out there. Do the variety that works best for your climate. And I'm still figuring out what that is up here. So don't pay attention too much to the specific varietals that I'm talking about here. So this is a broccolini essentially, and so I can just keep eating the shoots, and they're tender and they're nice. And when it comes to winter crops, I prefer cut and come again things. I prefer things that I can just keep harvesting from. Some things that is impossible to do, like carrots or root crops, that doesn't work. But for all of these other crops, they do that. So broccoli, great one. Classic that I've had in my videos for a long time. One of my favorite greens. It is my favorite green. One of my favorite crops to grow, even a profitable crop if you're a market gardener, is spinach. This variety is called Space. It's an F1. Actually, no, this one's called Avon. This one's called Avon, and that one is Space. And so I'm playing around with varieties for the different climate that I'm in now, but Space has always been my favorite. As a hybrid, sure. It is what it is. You know, an heirloom I'll grow is a Bloomsdale. Or I can't remember. But anyways, this one is Space. No, sorry, this one is Avon. It's like Space. I'm trying it out. It seems like pretty good. So, but spinach is great because it's a fast crop, and spinach is such a good thing to eat in so many different ways. I like it raw. I like it cooked in like a lasagna or something like that. My wife will make like a spanakopita dip out of it. It's fantastic. Love spinach, and it grows fast. That's the thing. So this spinach, I didn't say, this was started here in mid-June and was transplanted early July. This was just seeded 2 or 3 weeks ago, and but this is a fast crop, so I'm even planting today. I'll show you some things I'm planting right now as I record. This is October 3rd, and so even in a greenhouse now in a cold climate like Zone 4, I'm still planting some things. They have to be short date of maturity things mostly, but or they got to really like the cold, which they all do actually. So anyways, spinach. One of my favorite like root crop to grow, carrots. So I always do a lot of carrots, and I hand transplant most things now because I do smaller amounts of things. But carrots is one of the things that I still use my seeding tools for. My Jang seeder, I still use the Jang to plant carrots. But this is a variety called Mokum, and it's a short day to maturity carrot. It's a great overwintered carrot. I've been planting this for at least 10 years, and it survives the winters, and it provides nice, thick, consistent shaped carrots. Similar, it's almost like a Nantes cross with a Châtenay. Or Châtenay or whatever they're called, two common carrot varieties, and it's great. It's great. It's sweet. It's very sweet in the winter. This was seeded the first week of August, so that would be my really official last planting date for a zone 4, and it would have to be in a greenhouse. So August 4th. Beets, another fantastic one. These were started around the same time as all these broccolis, which were mid to late June. And so these beets are doing fantastic. They're huge. And that's what you want when you're going into winter. You want your crops to be established. So all these long season crops, they're going to be really nice and established by the time. I've still got 2 months of warm weather in this greenhouse. So these crops will grow for a while still. But I like to have stuff sooner than later, and I like to have it mostly established before it gets cold. And like some of the stuff I'm going to show you that I'm planting now, that stuff can germinate in cool weather and it will do just fine. Maybe one of them, and I'll show you that one shortly. So beets, fantastic one. I like to do tubular beets or a cylinder beet for homesteading, where for market gardening and premium customers, I like to do nice round golf ball size beets. But for the homestead, I like a big, thick cylinder beet that we get a lot of vegetable mass out of, and that's the best bang for our buck as far as soil conversion to calories. Next one here is Brussels sprouts, and I got to be honest, this one is new for me. I actually don't think I've ever grown Brussels sprouts before. I might have at one point just trying them in the garden, but this is my first year doing a good amount. I've probably got 40 plugs there. So yeah, they're coming along good. Not a lot of bug pressure, good looking green leaves, so that's a nice established crop. Again, that was started in mid-June. And we got some kale. We've got a little mix of kale here. There's a lacinato and there's a one winter boar, but those would have been started at the same time, transplanted, you know, in July, mid-July. And then on to what I'm planting now, which again, October 3rd, we're starting to get some cool nights, but it's actually been quite a warm summer. And that's actually a little bit partially why I'm so motivated to plant some stuff right now. So we talked about spinach. I've just seeded 5 rows there. So this is a lettuce mix. This is, you know, I'm not particularly recommending this mix. Any lettuce will do, but this one in particular is from Johnny's. It's All-Star Gourmet Mix. And that's been direct seeded at 5 rows just with my fingers. And then we're planting some baby kale, some red Russian kale. That's another one that's going to get hand planted there. And then we've got some really nice cold tolerant stuff here. Arugula, another salad green. And then we've got radishes and turnips. And turnips like this. So this is a Scarlet Queen turnip. And for the market garden, I used to plant the Hakurei turnip, the white turnip. And they're great for fancy restaurants. And I actually don't really like the taste of them that much. You have to really like that turnipy flavor. And those are great for the market. But these are, I find, are a good substitute for a homesteading version of the same thing. I actually like the taste of them better. They're less nice looking. They look more like in the parsnip category. But you get a lot of meat off them. You get a lot of... just a lot of vegetable mass off them in the time. So they're really great. And then this, speaking of meat, red meat radish. Now, I'm pushing it with planting this, but I'm just going to try a small amount and see. But optimally, it's a 60-day crop. I should have planted this about a month ago. But we're having such a nice fall, and I've got this high tunnel that I'm going to try and see how far they get. So I'm not necessarily recommending this for this time. Again, maybe beginning of September would have been a better time to plant those. And then we've got just some generic red radish. And that's a great one too, because they grow fast. There's a 28-day crop, and it will be, you know, with the temperatures we're getting in this greenhouse. Even if we go down below freezing at night, won't matter. That'll be probably a 28 to 35, 36 day crop, and boom, you've got something. You got a nice, so it, you know, in this greenhouse alone, I've got so much stuff that I can eat all winter. I can cook, I can eat it raw, I can juice it. Carrots, big time juicing for us. I actually grow, just for my family, I'll show you real quick. I grow, this is a whole bed here, which had some not great germination, probably got 60% out of there. That's a 40-foot bed, and then I've got another 3 18-foot beds here, and then up above I have another 26-foot bed. That's all for my family. That seems crazy, right? But it's not, because all the ones outside will be harvested and put into a walk-in cooler, stored dirty for months, and these still have 30 days to go. So I'll be eating those carrots all winter and using those for juicing. And then when I want a fresh carrot for a salad or something like that, I'll come in here and pull it right out of the ground. So that is it for these top 10 for the zombie apocalypse, folks. If you guys liked that video, smash the like. If you want to see more stuff like this, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Check out my site fromthefield.tv. It's where I post all my vlogs and the vast majority of all my content. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.